Hey, what's going on? It's your boy BT, and I came here to talk some boxing with the thousands of True School Sports subscribers. What's going on, guys? Now, Andre Ward, our favorite topic to talk about on this channel. You know, we've had so many animated, spirited videos about the Kovalev Ward fight, leading up to it, during it, after it, and it's gonna kind of continue here because Fight Hype was following. Fight Hype, shout out to them. They had a series of interviews and a series of videos that came out for Andre Ward because he was out there in the UK this past week doing commentary for the Chris Eubank Jr. Reynold Quinlan fight. Now, before I get into the meat and potatoes of this video, let me just say that Andre Ward, I actually want to give him a little credit, and I like what he had going on there in the UK. You know, he took some time out for some of the fighters, young fighters and fight fans over there, and he went to some local boxing gym in the video, and he had a Q&A, and I think that's cool. I love when fighters do things like that. I love when athletes in general do things like that because it just shows that they're in a position to where they've humbled themselves and they're willing to take some time out for just people who you know, support them. So, you know, shout out to him for that. Now, Andre Ward, as you know, is a great speaker, and you know, there was a young man in the crowd who asked him about the Kovalev Ward fight, and I'm gonna give you guys my opinion on that real soon. But first of all, I want to play you guys the audio from what was said. So here's what Andre Ward had to say regarding just, you know, Sergey Kovalev and how he doesn't have the mentality to beat him and all this other stuff. So here's what he said.
To say, I understand the media aspect of it. I understand the business aspect of it. So when I look at the print and the things that were written before the Kovalev fight, Ward's bitten off too much. Kovalev's power, all these different things. Those same guys are not going to give me the benefit of the doubt if the fight is close. Unfortunately, it doesn't work like that. Now, I feel like the right thing to do is to say, look, it was a close fight. I don't have any problem with that. I don't have a problem with somebody feeling like I lost. I disagree. But hey, it was a close. But anybody screaming robbery, like you went too far. But those same guys are not going to turn around and say, he did more than we thought he was going to do. He got up, showed the heart of a champion. But if the shoe was on the other foot, and but this is the thing, that's what I love about. It's 2017. Go back and look at the things that I said leading up to the fight. They said, why do you need this fight? I said, I have to have it. Why? I said, because if I lose, they're not going to give me the benefit of the doubt. I said, if he loses, he's going to have a soft place to fall. They're going to give him a bit. So what's happening now? And that's not a complaint because, you know, that's why he won't beat me. Because his whole career, he's gotten the benefit of the doubt. So that mentality that he needed to have, when I got up and looked him in the eye, I said, come on, bring it. He didn't have it. He went like this. Right? Because he didn't have that mentality. But me knowing, they're not going to give me the benefit of the doubt. I got to have it. That drove me and drove me and drove me. And that's why he won't beat me in a future fight. Because the right thing to do right now for him is to say, man, I thought I won, but let me go back to the drawing board and figure out what happened. He's making excuses. Anybody around him, and I know this because I'm doing my homework, anybody in his camp that's telling him he lost, he needs to change this, he's trying to get rid of him. He doesn't want to hear any truth, so therefore he's not going to get better. And if he brings the same guy into the second fight, in my opinion, it's going to be worse. So to say all of that is to say, I've learned to embrace my journey, the good, the bad, the ugly, and what people think, you know, is a negative thing, and it's actually molded me and shaped me and prepared me for every moment that I've been through. It's not physical anymore at this stage of my career. It's not whose punches harder, who has the biggest muscles. It's the mentality. I have to have it. And he doesn't have that. And he's not going to get it at 33 years old.
All right, so there you have it. Andre Ward gives his take on why he believes Kovalev doesn't have the mentality to beat him, just how he saw how the first fight played out. And I gotta say this. Now, I find whenever Ward talks about the fight, right, he talks about it from the standpoint like all the odds are against him. When that's not the case. It was a very much the consensus was that it was a 50-50 fight. You had half people saying that Ward would win. You had half people saying Kovalev would win. Some people were saying that Ward's IQ and his amateur pedigree and his boxing ability and his big fight experience, that was gonna be the determining factor in the fight and his inside fighting as well. People like myself said that Kovalev's power, Kovalev's reach, his boxing skill, the fact that he was more of a natural light heavyweight, those are the things that people like myself and Precise Presenter and all kinds of people in the boxing world stated as to why Kovalev would beat Andre Ward and Shady Slim as well. It was not a fight to where Ward was a definitive, underdog. This is not Sonny Liston versus Muhammad Ali. And so I just find it funny that he tries to rewrite history that way when he was a 2-1 favorite via the Vegas betting odds before the fight came in, before the fight happened. You had many people here in that YTBC. It wasn't just about Kovalev's power; it was about his boxing skill. A lot of us said that Kovalev would outbox Andre Ward because he had the boxing skills to outbox Andre Ward, and he did just that that night. Now he said that a lot of people who were not going to give him the benefit of the doubt, that maybe don't like him, wouldn't give him any credit for getting up off the canvas and showing heart. But I went back and I watched the Ward Kovalev fight the other night by myself, with nobody around me, no emotions involved. I try to give Ward as many rounds as possible. I try to look for what he did positive in that fight, and I could only give him 4 rounds, and those 4 rounds were the 5th round, the 7th round, the 8th round, and the 11th round. Those 4 rounds are the rounds that I gave him. And I thought, especially in those middle rounds, the 5th, the 5th, the 7th, the 8th, he fought very well in those rounds. Those are the rounds where he made Kovalev very uncomfortable on the inside, where he swung the momentum of the fight his direction, where the fight was fought at his pace, at his, terms. But he just didn't have enough of those rounds. If he would have had maybe 1 or 2 of those rounds, I could see a bigger case as to why he would have won. But he just didn't. And if you go back and you watch the 12th round, which ironically the 12th round was the round where it was Kovalev who dug deep, and what Ward is supposedly the best at, which is inside fighting, it was Kovalev getting the better of Andre Ward on those inside exchanges in the 12th round. So that's, to me, what put that fight, in the bag for Kovalev. I already had him up 7-5 going into that, or no, not 7-5. I had him up 7-4 going into that round. That one put it in the bag for 8-4. So, I don't think it's the mentality. I don't think Kovalev doesn't have to be mentality to beat Andre Ward. He beat him. So whatever he did the first fight, all he's got to do is exploit that game plan at a greater degree the second fight, and he'll probably get a knockout. That's probably what would happen, because if you look at those, the 5th, 7th, 8th, the rounds that Ward won were also the rounds that Kovalev happened to not be committed to his jab. And you could attribute that to maybe him being more tired, which, that's to be argued. Or you could say that Ward just smothered all of his punches and was able to dictate the pace. Whatever you think, those rounds is where he didn't commit to his jab. So I think if he can commit to his jab at a greater length, then he's probably going to score a knockout over Andre Ward, because he was able to catch him with a lot of great straight right hands throughout the course of the fight. I just think Ward did a good job of smothering a lot of those punches, cutting that distance to make sure that Kovalev couldn't extend all the way out. Because Kovalev's one of those guys, he needs to extend to really hurt you, extend those arms to hurt you. But I mean, it's ridiculous. If Ward really feels that confident, I would really suggest that he sign the contract, because look, it was a great fight. The only problem I really have with the fight was the fact that we got a great fight. We just didn't get the result that was just. That's my problem with it. And Ward did show some heart. Ward did show some grit, championship toughness that you look for in top class fighters. But he didn't beat the champion. Like in any other scenario, if you go back, if you look at the history of boxing, I think the Jesse Hart, the 168-pound prospect from Top Rank, he put it better than anybody I've heard so far. He likened this fight to kind of like when Ali fought Frazier. Joe Frazier had to go in there and take the titles from Ali, or vice versa. They had to step to the other guy, and Ward didn't do that. He didn't step to Kovalev. So you can't necessarily give him the titles over the light heavyweight champion. But it was a great fight, and I've had very, very animated reactions about this fight. I've probably said some very disrespectful things in the past. But I think both fighters need. I mean, Kovalev wants to make the fight. It's really up to Ward. He's the champion now on paper. He got the decision, and this is a fight that boxing needs. It's not even a matter of me wanting it or the fans wanting it. It's a fight that boxing needs because we need clarity. The majority of the boxing world feels Kovalev won, but I know there's people out there that think Andre Ward won, although it's not as many as Kovalev. And the first fight was great. The second fight I believe would be great as well because we'd see adjustments, and we really get to know more about these fighters when you had to make adjustments. So we know Andre Ward's a smart guy. I wouldn't say he's like the most exciting fighter in the world. He's rather boring if you ask me. But one thing I do respect about him is his mental approach, and his mental approach is something that could be a determining factor if they have a rematch. But then again, I think people, because of maybe Kovalev not being able to speak English as great as obviously Ward because he's American, or him not being American, people don't really know or give him credit for the mentality that Kovalev has. Because I mean, to come out of the obscurity he came out of, to come out of Russia, to outbox. I mean, say whatever you want about Bernard Hopkins being old, but to outbox Hopkins for every single round. I'm talking about every single round, winning him clearly. To knock a guy like Andre Ward on the canvas, who's only been on the canvas one time, that takes a lot of skill, IQ, and I don't think his boxing IQ kind of gets the credit it deserves. So, just make the fight happen. Andre Ward saying that he don't have the mentality to beat Kovalev, doesn't have the mentality to beat him. I beg to differ. I think Kovalev has the mentality. He definitely has the power and the boxing skills as he proved in the first fight. So we'll see what happens, man. I'm not really gonna say anything negative about Andre Ward. I kind of said what I need to say already. I'm actually giving him credit because I went back and watched the fight, and he fought better than I remembered, in the first fight. So first time I watched it. So let me know what you guys think. Andre Ward says that Kovalev does not have the mentality to beat him. He went on the whole media tour in the UK. Go check out the videos over there on Fight Hive. He touched on this and the Golovkin fight offer and Adonis Stevenson and all kinds of stuff. So go check that out over there. Some good stuff there. Shout out to him for making time out for the great fans of the UK who support boxing really well. And hopefully he as the champion behaves like the champion, like I've asked him to in the other videos. Hopefully he behaves like a champion, and he gives Kovalev the rematch. He gives Kovalev the same chance that Kovalev gave him to become a light heavyweight champion. He should give Kovalev that same respect back and give Kovalev a chance to regain those titles as well. So we'll see what happens. This is business. Hopefully the numbers can make sense enough, to where Andre Ward isn't getting a ridiculous advantage, to where Kovalev's screwed, but we get an even fight. So let me know what you guys think in the comments down below about what Ward said. Take the time to subscribe, and you can love me or you can hate me, but I'm just a kid from Ding. So until next time, take care, guys.